Hello friends, I'm Akash, and this is your News of the Week for the week of May 14th to May 20th, 2023. I'm Akash Cody, and let's take a look at our first story of the week. The 49th G7 summit is currently taking place in Hiroshima, Japan for 3 days from May 19th to 21st, 2023. The G7 is a group of 7 economically developed and internationally important nations: Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the UK, and the US. The European Union is a permanent attendee of every summit as well and is considered a non-numerated member. The selection of Hiroshima, Japan as the host city is symbolic, as this was the location where the first nuclear bomb was dropped, and the intent is that this summit can hopefully bring the world one step closer to peace. World leaders from around the globe attended the summit, including Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who met many heads of state, including the Indian Prime Minister Modi. The main topics of the discussion at G7 this year will focus on dealing with the war in Ukraine and Chinese aggression towards Taiwan. Let's take a look at our next story of the week in the meanwhile. In January of this year, the United States Treasury hit its debt ceiling, preventing any further debt from being incurred. This actually carries the danger that the United States will not be able to pay back its debt, which the government projects would lead to a severe economic recession and the loss of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of jobs. In past scenarios, when the US did hit the debt ceiling, Congress was able to pass bills increasing the debt ceiling successfully. But for the past few months, lawmakers of the Republican Party have been focused on adding a prerequisite for the debt ceiling bill about cutting back government spending. Democratic Party members have opposed that prerequisite and want to pass a debt ceiling bill with no restrictions. This has led to a standstill in whether to go forward with the bill. And things have gotten worse now, as Secretary of the Treasury Janet Yellen stated that the U.S. may be entirely unable to pay back its debt by June 1st. This has put a very clear deadline on the debt ceiling crisis, and that means that congressmen and senators have just 11 days to pass a debt ceiling bill somehow. This is a really tense situation for the country and for the world, and I truly hope that this bill is passed with or without restrictions, because it is vitally important for this country and for the world that the bill is passed. So let's take a look at the final story of the week. On May 11, 2023, America's Title 42 policy of removing immigrants who had recently arrived from regions with a contagious disease was officially repealed. The Title 42 policy was enacted in 1944 as part of Title 42 of the United States Code, but it began seeing widespread usage in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. It was used to turn away illegal immigrants from the country for 3 years, from 2020 to 2023, across both the Trump and Biden administrations. Once Title 42 is revoked, the guideline for sending back immigrants, this falls under Title 8 of the United States Code, and that focuses on immigration and citizenship in general. Although many expected a large spike in migrants once Title 42 was revoked, this did not seem to happen, and in fact, the number of migrants had even decreased at one point. But we don't know if it just hasn't happened yet and it's going to come soon, or if it will never happen at all. And that is why US Border Patrol officials are still remaining on alert in the case a spike does happen. So that is all of your news of the week for the week of May 14th to May 20th, 2023. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon in another news of the week. Goodbye.